Hey guys, Dani here, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. My 2015 MacBook Pro finally crapped out, which means that it was time to upgrade my computers. That also means that it was kind of time for Thunderbolt 3 and Dongle hell, and I refuse to live in Dongle hell. So I'm going to show you how I did it, coming up. I know what you're thinking. Why don't you just run to Amazon and grab a hub and problem solved? But because I'm a musician, this doesn't really work for me. And to explain why, I'm going to have to go into a little bit of technical details, so stick with me. USB basically has three types. There's type A, which is the one that you're most used to seeing. It's going to be on the bottom of your iPhone plug, or pretty much everything that you're used to using, including your hard drives and your thumb drives. There's also actually a type B, which would most likely be found on the back of your printer. And this new type C, which is the thing that's causing all the problems for everyone. There's also three generations of USB, so there's generation 1, 2, and 3, and just basically what those are the speeds in which the data can transfer through the cable. Thunderbolt is something that was developed by Apple and Intel in order to allow users to connect peripherals such as displays and monitors to their Apple products. USB and Thunderbolt are two completely different things. But what Apple has done with Thunderbolt 3 is use the USB Type-C connector so that you can also plug in your USB-C devices. But like I said, USB and Thunderbolt are two separate things. And to make things even more confusing, the current MacBook Pros, iMacs, and iMac Pros all use Thunderbolt 3, but the 12-inch MacBook actually uses USB-C. So the reason why I can't just go on Amazon and basically grab a random hub and just go about my business is a little bit twofold. First of all, the hubs on Amazon are all a little bit different. So you're going to find some that are USB-C versus Thunderbolt, USB 3.0 versus 3.1, which all have different speeds, which means that by choosing the wrong hub, you can actually completely slow down your workflow. And especially as a musician, if I'm plugging in my mixer into my computer and the speed isn't fast enough, you can get lag in your recordings, which is not good. The other problem with these cheap Amazon hubs is just that. They're cheap. They are unreliable, they don't always work, and like I mentioned before, all the specs are a little bit different. I initially picked up this Satechi hub, and it worked for a little while and then basically just stopped working. I did have a chance to contact the company and they did send me a new one, but I haven't even opened it yet because if it's going to do exactly what the first one did, then what's the point? On top of that, even though this hub claims to have pass-through capacity, if I plug this hub into my computer, it doesn't actually allow me to continue to charge through the USB-C port on it. Most of my hard drives don't work because they draw too much power for the hub to handle. I can't plug in more than one thing at a time, and it's just a mess. And realistically, I don't want to keep going through all of these hubs all the time. They're going to keep breaking and I'm going to waste a whole bunch of money. So how did I solve this problem and escape dongle hell? Well, the first thing I did was actually take a look at what I was plugging into my computer. So what I plug into my computer on a regular basis is my mixer, which is an M Audio 2x2M. I plug in my hard drive, so that stores all of my stuff. And if I need to video it on the go, I will plug in my SD card. The second thing I did was actually just take a look at those specific products. Even though I've had those products for over a year and my mixer I've actually had for a little over 2 years, they both came with USB-C cables. So in the box it had a USB-C cable and a USB-A cable. So thankfully, I didn't actually need a hub to plug these things into my new laptop. All I had to do was swap out the cable that it came with. And the only things that I actually ended up having to buy a dongle for was the SD card, because there is no way to not have an SD card reader without a USB-C end to plug it in. And I did buy a USB-C to USB-A cable from Apple for the occasional thing that I may have to plug in that I'm not thinking of at the moment, but it's never usually a common thing. And why I did choose to buy these from Apple and not from Amazon is because when I buy them from the Apple store, I know that they're going to be reliable, and if they're not, Apple will swap them out. And I actually only ended up spending $10 more than the Satechi hub that I initially bought that's unreliable and doesn't work. Most days, I actually don't end up using the dongles. The thing that I actually end up using the dongles for most often is my Wacom tablet when I'm trying to edit thumbnails. That's it. I just carry my hard drive around with me, my mixer plugs in whenever I need it to. And I have Escape dongle help with reliable equipment and only 2 dongles. If the things that you have don't actually come with those USB-C cables, most companies have actually released those cables on their website and you can buy it from them. I know this sounds a little bit more expensive, but what's important to remember is those speeds of the cables. So you want to get the cables that are from the company and that are reliable so that you can keep your music equipment the way it's supposed to be. It's not overpowering it and it's not underpowering it, because that'll just be a mess. And you also need to remember that your time is worth money. If you're a musician, everything that you do creates value for you or for other people. So as much as maybe something being a little bit slower and taking 5 extra minutes to do doesn't seem like a big deal, when you add up all those 5 minutes, you could have done a lot more in, let's say, a year that could have made you more money. I really hope that you found this video valuable, and I would really love to know how you guys are dealing with the new sets of MacBooks. Did you get a hub? Which hub did you get? Is it working for you? Are you doing dongles? What dongles did you get? Tell me all of those things in the comment section below. I know this was kind of a lot, so if you have any questions about the speeds of products, USB, Thunderbolt, anything, feel free to ask me in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to this video to get weekly music content. And I'll see you next time. Bye.